What do you want to unlearn? And what do you want to manifest in your life? Do you need to heal yourself? Do you want to attract your soulmate and understand why it has never worked out with any of the others? Or maybe you want to manifest money for a fat bank account so that you never again have to worry about where you're going to find your rent money. While money can't buy happiness, it sure makes life a lot easier and more fun when there is a river of money flowing into your life and you don't have to worry about going to the cash machine and wondering if your bank account is overdrawn again. You will sleep better knowing that you do not have financial worries. It's empowering to walk into a car showroom and pay cash for that car that you want. It's freedom to be able to book a last-minute romantic getaway just because you want to surprise your soulmate. How will it feel when you can finally call money and financial blessings into your life? How will you use the money in your life? For that new car you've had your eye on? For the dream home you've always wanted? Or my personal manifesting favorite is manifesting trips and adventures that are filled with magic moments and memories for myself and my friends and my family. Just the other day, my friend called me up and invited me on his big race boat to see the Statue of Liberty by water and then to have dinner with the best views of the New York City skyline. I have no desire to own my own boat, but I love being on a boat. And I manifested this crazy, amazing experience to be 50 yards from Lady Liberty in the water because I love an adventure. This isn't a once in a while thing. This kind of thing happens to me all the time. Sydney, Costa Rica, Colombia, luxury tree houses in Montana, Italy, Fiji, and many more showed up in my life without any effort. I regularly have dinner with authors, athletes, and millionaires and movie stars. It blows my mind when I think back to when I was wearing work boots and driving an old beat-up work truck. Now let me introduce myself properly and explain how I discovered this formula and how it transformed my life and the lives of all my clients. Hi, my name is Croix Sather. Shortly, you'll be calling me your friend and transformation guy. And here's why. You see, my life began with a very meager start in this life. My dad was a carpenter and our family lived on a single family income. At times, my parents would go without food so that my brothers and I could eat. And we literally grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. But not far away, millionaires live with their big mansions, driving their fancy cars, taking exotic vacations. I became a carpenter like my dad, and we worked together for many of these millionaires, building pool houses bigger than our house. And I was curious, why did they have so much money, why we always seem to struggle to get by? And so I'd ask my customers, how do I become wealthy like you? And most answered with the generic response of work hard. But my dad and I were working harder than any of them, and we were just getting by. One customer, Mr. Cronenberg, was a self-made millionaire that started from the streets too. When I asked him, how do I get wealthy? He gave me a program and said, listen to this. This will help you understand. Rich people think different. If you want to be happy and wealthy, you want to be tapped in. I didn't know what he was talking about, but this was the beginning of my journey to understand the world in a whole different way. Eventually, this would become my life's passion to understand and share something that most people are unaware it's even possible. It wasn't long that my life started to change, and I began to instantly manifest amazing things. A friend of mine invited me to go to a house auction. I went out of curiosity, but I couldn't afford to buy the house for cash like the auction required. To my surprise, the house didn't sell. So I called the bank the next day. I made a deal with them and they gave me a mortgage I wasn't otherwise qualified to get. I became the owner of a Federalist Victorian with 2-story columns prestigiously set up on the hilltop. I was only 24 years old and the house was the envy of the town. A couple of months later, I bumped into a man who asked, do you know anybody who wants to buy a home? 90 minutes later, he sold me the house for no money down on a handshake. It's one of my favorite instant manifestations because I sold that house 1 week later and made $25,000 in profit. But I didn't know the whole formula and secret for manifesting things into my life. Sometimes I could tap in and sometimes I couldn't. So my life was a roller coaster. I hid the heartache and the pain when my life went sideways. I went from living the good life to being over $1 million upside down. My marriage fell apart and I was burnt out from working 80 hours a week. There had to be a better way. Your setbacks are a setup for a comeback. I didn't know it at the time, but the universe was preparing me, just like the universe has prepared you. I then met another mentor that would teach me the second part of effortless manifestation. Another self-made millionaire, he said to me, "It's all in your subconscious mind. You're out of alignment. This is why your life has been a roller coaster." He turned me on to the power of psycho-neuro-programming. It sounded crazy at first, but he explained that this is how you tap into the power of your subconscious mind and create an amazing millionaire life. Because I was still skeptical, I feverishly sought out every bit of information I could find on psycho-neuro-programming and the subconscious mind. You must be cautious because you can manifest lots of money, but it can still leave you empty. I'm going to show you how to manifest anything you want and how to create a fulfilling and meaningful life that you love and make your journey worthwhile. I want you to keep this in mind as I tell you how my life changed. What is most important is that I followed my biggest dreams. After I explain, you'll understand why nobody else can teach you what I know. You see, my dream was to run across America. I would run a marathon a day for 100 consecutive days, from California to New York City. But there was a catch. I was just about 40 years old and I wasn't a runner. In fact, I was barely more than a couch potato. So why would I do such a monumental thing? Because my dream inspired me. And it shows what's possible when you tap into the 3 levels of your mind. Now, I don't expect you to run across America. You probably would never consider it. But what would you do if anything is possible? Would you be an artist or would you start your own business? Would you leave the job you hate for a job you love? Would you move to the beach? Would you start dating after a divorce to find your soulmate? You see, this isn't about my run across America. It's about finding your purpose and living your big dream. If a carpenter from the wrong side of the tracks can create a massive life transformation, so can you. Magic happens when you reprogram the 3 levels of your mind. The universe conspires for amazing things to happen to you. When you open up your manifestation powers and align yourself with your true north, it's like you have a secret advantage to living your dreams. But it wasn't just a run across America. Each day I also gave a speech to audiences in challenging life circumstances. People just like me, where success is a long shot. I spoke to inner city high schools, addiction centers, homeless shelters, wounded warriors, inspiring them to dream big, act boldly, and to overcome their challenges. I ran across America to make a difference. I became known as a life transformation expert. I've written several books and I speak on some of the most prestigious stages in the world. My talks have been viewed by over 1 million people and I travel the world doing what I truly love. And I want this for you, to live a life you love.